Welcome to what is a timeline of all my interests because I didn't know what specific thing to make it about. So this is just everything I've ever been autistic about ever because that's not boring. And if I yap for too long, you can just tell me shut the fuck up. Okay. First, we have Pokemon autism. Wow, I love Pokemon so much. I think I will lock myself in my room and play this for hours on end. Wow, I love Microsoft Word so much. I think I will spend hours on the computer and write literal novels about my life in Pokemon and have 2 series with multiple books as a young child. And my parents were like, yeah, that's normal. All right, here is my favorite Pokemon. This is Mew. Mew is a psychic type. I don't know if you see my cursive. But Mew is a legendary Pokemon, and legendary Pokemons are basically like the gods of the Pokemon world. So it's just a cat god, and that's awesome. And my favorite type of Pokemon are water types, and these are 6 I like. This is Piplup. Piplup's a penguin. Mudkip is an axolotl, I think. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, no, I think Mudkip's a mudfish. Feel is a seal, and it's also an ice type. Chinchu, I think is how it's said, is also an electric type. And this guy's actually my YouTube mascot. Meryl is a mouse, and it's also a fairy type, and Vaporeon is like this fish fox thing. All right, here's the cringe part. This was my first ever crush. Yes, I know she's a drawing. This is Cynthia. I like her because she's a girl boss. And she's like the champion of her region, which basically means she's the most powerful trainer. And she's just super smart and cool. And she's also an archaeologist. And these are some other gym leaders I like. There's Flannery's fire type, and she's in the same region as Winona, who is a flying type trainer. I don't know why I can't remember her name right now, but she's an electric type trainer. Her name's it's like Elisa or something. I'm probably getting that wrong. She's an electric type. I think I already said that. Skylar is flying type trainer, and Roxy, who is a poison type trainer. These 3 are in the same region. And none of them are in the same region as Cynthia because I only had eyes for her. Here are some other games I got autistic about, but not as much as Pokemon. First, we have Animal Crossing, which I actually started playing before Pokemon. Celeste is the owl. She's like an astronomer, which is pretty cool. And Cherry's just a regular villager who's a goth punk dog, which is pretty awesome. Then we have Minecraft. How original. That's a bee. And then, so I played this visual novel when I was like probably way too young to play it because there's adult content in it. And basically, a visual novel is like a dating sim, but there's actual reading and way more interesting plotline. And yeah, I was really obsessed with this for some fucking reason. All right, and now we're going to talk about all my band shit. So, yippee. But first, we're going to play a fun game. This is where we get the audience participation. So, don't answer until I finish the question. And this is a visual depiction of you exploding. It's probably not that funny. What?
Me specifically?
Yes, because I know you like to interrupt from our Jeopardy game.
I love interrupting. It's my favorite thing to do.
All right, here we go. So for my sister's 12th birthday, she got a CD and I liked it so much. I played it for literally 24/7 for nearly 2 years straight. So if you have a guess as to what band the CD was by, let me know right now. And I can't see the
Fall Out Boy.
My
text.
Chemical Romance.
All right, you're all asking, guessing my actual hyperfixations, but they're good guesses.
Think about young emo.
This was before I was emo. This was when I was 8. And I think only those.
I will know it once I see it.
All right. Here is the answer. It's the Beach Boys. And my parents thought that was normal for me to listen to a fucking album 24/7 for 2 years. So now we're going to actually talk about my hyperfixations on, like, my deep hyperfixations. So yes, my first love, someone guessed this right, it was Fall Out Boy. And in the bottom left corner, that's my favorite album of theirs. It's Infinity on High. Here it is a little bit bigger, in case you couldn't see.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah. But a fun fact about this, I had slightly good taste as a 12-year-old because this album is actually, yes, it's a emo album or whatever, but it's also got some really pretty symphonic sounds and is nice and orchestral. So, yay. And then here's are the other main ones I liked. We have Panic at the Disco. This is like their original lineup. And this was the lineup that I got into. I hate Brendan and this other guy. But the guy on the far left, Dallin, he's part. Ugh. he did the group I Don't Know How, But They Found Me, which you might know but some songs by, and they're kind of 80s influence, and some of you guys might like them. But their music pretty much kind of sucks, and I hate Brendan so much that the stuff that doesn't suck, I hate anyway. Next is My Chemical Romance. I'm still fine with them. 21 Pilots, I don't know why they're lumped in with these bands. They're not the same genre, but their music really only sounds good when you're a teenager. And then All Time Low, same thing as 21 Pilots, and Set It Off, same thing as them. And you might be like, where are the women? Those are all ugly ass, terrible men. Where are the women? And so the reason for that is because that. Just kidding. There is a band I like with a female front person. That is Hayley Williams of Paramore. She's pretty awesome. And actually, these two Paramore albums have more of an 80s influence, and they actually evolved pretty well. A lot of their emo and pop punk contemporaries, they always go more commercial and their music turned to shit, but they actually did something interesting. And actually, this is why the title track is reminiscent of this other 80s band, which you might have heard of. And actually, Hayley Williams was on a song of David Byrne, so that was cool. Oh, and also I really like Halsey, but again, her music, it sounds only good when you're like a teenager. Okay, and so then I tried getting into pop punk, and I was like, a lot of this sounds the fucking same. So I only got into 3 bands. Here's Blink-182. This is their original lineup, but the guy on the right, Tom, he was one of the singers, he left. And then they got this guy, Matt, to replace him. And he was my favorite member for some reason. Everyone kind of hated him because he was a new guy, but he's my favorite. And he's the lead singer of this other band called Alkaline Trio, which I got into. And they ended up being my favorite band. And they're still my favorite band. And I don't really know why, because their music's probably not objectively good or anything, but they just bring a sense of comfort to me that no band ever has been able to. So they've been my favorite band since like 2018. And also Green Day. And then something else happened that we're not going to talk about. All right, and now I'm punk. So this band is Operation Ivy. They're a ska punk / hardcore punk band. And this blonde guy here, Jesse Michaels, he's not really a celebrity because he kind of sort of retired, but he's like my favorite person ever. He's very creative and he does a bunch of stuff. He does music and he's also a painter, and he's had a few short films. I've watched them. And he has a book and I own it, and it's something. But I think he's great, and I'm 100% sure I'm his #1 fan. So, all right. And these other two formed this band. Matt and Tim, they formed a band called Rancid, which is another ska punk band. I liked them for a long time, but then I don't really care about them anymore. And then Alkaline Trio is going on tour with this band, Bad Religion, so I got into them. And this guy, Brian, was in this hardcore punk band, Minor Threat. They basically invented straight edge or coined the term or whatever. And he's also in this emotional hardcore that's like proto-emo punk band, so called Dag Nasty. I liked them for a while, but I don't listen to them anymore either. And the lead singer of Minor Threat, Ian MacKaye, was part of Fugazi, so these are the main 6. Pretty much the same with the emo crap. I could talk about a million other bands and albums, but we're not going to do that. All right, and then one random day in December, there's this band that I don't even know how the fuck I know about them, but I listened to one of their songs once, and I really liked it. Well, I don't think I really liked it, but I think I liked it. And then I remembered the song existed, and I was like, oh, I should go listen to it. Yeah, there's that. And then I just listened to the entire album. It's off of The Man Machine. And then I listened to all their albums for no reason. And now I have a deep desire for synthesizers just because I randomly remembered these German guys. So it began, and I was making a synthesizer playlist, so I wanted to listen to some more synth bands because I was listening to a bunch that I only really liked 1 album or 3 albums by, so I was trying to find some that clicked. And Andy McCluskey, the lead singer of Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, collaborated with Carl Bartos of Kraftwerk on one of his side projects, and I quite liked it. So I listened to all their albums, and basically I forgot that existed. I went down the slippery slope of new wave hell, and this is just going to be represented by animation because it would take 500 years. And sorry for some of the animations. I think some of you aren't going to like them. But anyway, yeah, here are all the bands I liked. something happened in college. We don't need to talk about that. I need more room on my page. There's that guy. There's that guy. That's and I just added him because I forgot him. I'm sorry. But yeah, synthesizer New Wave Hell. He has a synthesizer and like Quit Dreaming and
done everything ever.
Red Noise. He's a
Duran
synth.
Duran, my beloved.
They're so evil. And if someone hadn't told me to look up this bitch as a goth girl, maybe
I supposed to know you were gonna start drooling immediately.
you know my type.
Well, it's Duran Duran. I didn't think you were gonna stoop that low.
Fuck you. All right. Anyway, yeah, New Wave Hell has been a lot of fun. And I think this is the first genre that I'm probably going to stick with because it's my favorite genre ever. And, you know, I wonder what band I'm going to get crazy obsessive over next. Hopefully it's nothing bad. And here are some other things I got autistic about, but I don't feel like being insane about. So Five Nights at Freddy's, we're gonna speed run a huge lore drop. So Quotive, the quiz making website, I used to role play on it too. And actually that got me into fandom too because I met people who liked bands and then started role playing gay band members. We don't need to talk about that. And we don't need to talk about how that was the way I met my first 4 significant others. Anyway, Five Nights at Freddy's, I knew barely anything about the games, but I role played as Foxy because I thought he was cool. Warrior Cat's my first internet friend. Her name's Winter. Well, she started going by her real name, which is Jaden, and she lives in Michigan. So if she somehow sees this, you should, I don't know if we'd have anything in common, but you should message me. Undertale, I really liked too. Computer viruses, I did tell LCAP about this. Basically, I think it started early middle school, maybe. I randomly got super into computer viruses and I watched YouTube videos of people downloading fuck tons of viruses on their computers for no reason. And that's what this purple monkey is. He's Bonsai Buddy. He's like a spyware thingy.
I still watch those videos.
They're still fun. They're interesting. I don't know why. And I actually have a really stupid story that I thought would be fun to share. No, I didn't download a bunch of computer viruses before you ask. But so in 7th grade at middle school, there was this virus that was going around where it basically pretended it was someone inviting you to Google Docs. And what you would do is you click on the edit document button or whatever, and it would put spyware on your computer and then push it out to all your email contacts. So the person that got it sent to our school was the school police officer, fucking idiot. And so it got pushed to my old ass English teacher. And I received it, but I didn't open it because I'm not stupid. But I went home and I researched it and where it came from. And my stupid ass, for some reason, because I thought it was interesting, I decided to email my English teacher with the information about it because I thought it was fantastic. So this old ass lady who's probably super embarrassed that she downloaded a virus onto her computer probably opened up her email to see that this really strange basically nonverbal kid just downloaded her or sent her a bunch of information about the virus she downloaded, and she probably didn't appreciate that. So Clippy the Paperclip, so our computer, I don't know if you guys know who this guy is, but
Oh yeah.
our computer was so fucking old. It's from the 90s. It's like 10 years old or some shit. That we had Clippy the Paperclip. And I forgot who he was, but during my computer virus thing, I rediscovered who he was, and I hold a lovely fondness for Clippy. Everyone fucking hates him and thinks he's annoying, but I think he's beautiful.
Rest in
And
peace,
I was-
Clippy.
What?
Rest in peace, Clippy. You
Rest
were
in-
the one.
Somebody in the chat asking who Clippy is.
He's a Microsoft Word assistant, so if you were writing in a document, he'd pop up and he'd try and help you. And that's basically it. He's just a little paperclip. There's really no further explanation. And he was on like old computers in the 90s, I think. And they got rid of him either late 90s or early 2000s. I think it was probably the 2000s, but I'm not sure. Anyway, and I was also really into pretending that I wasn't a furry, even though I was drawing furries since I was like 10. And these were my first actual furry drawings, and I did them when I was 13, and I remember posting them on my Snapchat and being like, I'm not a furry. I just think the characters are cool, and I think they're kind of cool, so I drew some furries. Like, be for real right now. And yeah, that's the end. So if anyone has anything they want to say, now is the time to do so.
Amazing lore drop.
It's also pretty normal.
Really, even playing a porn game with anime girls at age 11?
Yeah, I mean, if you have
God forbid a man has hobbies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I do have one comment to share for you.
All right, what is it?
Ew, David Sylvian.